Today on Solshow, we review Erased, aka Boku Dake ga Inai Machi, I'm terrible at Japanese, which roughly translates to the town where only I am missing. But Erased and the town where I am missing are that's a bit of a stretch. You know what, fuck it, Erased is easier to say. I feel like a lot of reviews, whenever something popular comes around, they always gotta talk about the hype, so I'm gonna get that out of the way. This is a very hyped show, and with that there is that emphasis of, does it live up to the hype? And my answer to that is, I can't tell you, because I don't know how much hype you're gonna have going into it. I do know that the praise I'm going to give this show is just as much praise I would give it if it was just a random show I found. Just because there's all this extra love and support for it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to diminish how much I like it, even though it could go to other shows that probably deserve it more and probably do something more creative. I can't just diminish how much I like something. I just want to get that out of the way. And also being said, if you really like this show, I suggest watching a series of videos by my friend Matt from Anime Blitz. He does episode reviews for every single episode, and I would also recommend, if you're on the opposite side of the coin and you don't think this show is good, check out this video by Digibro. He does analytical videos, and he basically broke down why this show isn't good. And I think for the most part he nailed a lot of good points, and I agree with a lot of what he said, although that doesn't necessarily diminish how much I like this show. And of course you can always watch my every episode reviews where I went in depth and talked about each episode as I was watching them. With that out of the way, I want to say I love this show. It's a great show. A lot of the emotional curveballs and just a lot of the swings they took, and just to get me emotional, they hit. I got wrapped up in it. The show follows a guy named Satoru. He's very narcissistic, although he develops a lot throughout the series. And let's just say he can kind of go back in time. Basically, when something is about to go wrong, he developed this sort of spider sense. He's like, oh, something's about to happen, and he calls it a revival, and he's able to go back in time to stop that thing from happening. And let's just say something goes very wrong in his life, and his whole life is completely fucked, and he goes back in time so far that he's a child. And as a child, he has to stop a chain of events that would eventually link to his entire life just being terrible. And there's a lot of problems with this show. I was skeptical at first because I heard it was directed by the director of Sword Art Online, but a lot of those skepticisms went, I do know what's wrong, there's a lot, it's very overdramatic, like a lot of anime is to me, and in my opinion, a lot of it wasn't justified. I think this could have been a much more personal story that wasn't acting as if it was on this big grand scale, and it would have turned out a lot better. I also think there's a lot of problems that people, have been mentioning as it's been airing, like, it's a murder mystery kind of show, and basically a lot of people didn't like when they found out who the killer was. And, that's a pretty big problem. I kind of agree with that. I also thought the ending was pretty anticlimactic. There's a good amount wrong with this show. But god damn it, this show, it has the feels, man. It puts some feeling into my cold, distorted heart. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? Basically, all the characters, I really like the majority of the characters. For instance, there's a child character named Hinazuki, and she's basically kind of that archetype of the small daughter, little girl character, like The Last of Us and The Walking Dead kind of role, where you kind of, you feel you gotta protect her, you gotta feel for her. And as much as I was aware that that's what was going on, I couldn't help but fall for it. She is a very just likable character, and you really feel for her, and you don't want things to happen to her. And this show, it doesn't hold back punches on emotions. Like, just the right thing will just send the swimming feels into your heart. No, oh my god, the gloves. Not the gloves, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, the gloves. The show also taught me, if you have a porn collection and you hang out with a lot of kids, that doesn't mean you're a rapist. Although that does describe a lot of rapists. Also, shout out to Satoru's mom for doing a better job at momming than your mom. Also, I have to mention her big, fat, juicy lips. And one more supporting character I want to mention is Ari. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Can I just call her Pizza Girl? Can that be a thing? I want her to kind of just describe a lot of the side characters where I thought, in the end, she and other characters, were a little bit useless in the end, and I thought they would matter more than they actually did. That being said, I still enjoyed their characters to an extent. That being said, I want to give my final thoughts here. Erased, I thought it was a great show. I thought it was emotional. I thought the characters were all nice. I got invested in the turns. I just felt happy to be watching like a seasonal show and just kind of being a part of a community just for a little bit. And even though I don't think it lived up to everyone's hopes, and personally it failed a couple of mine, I still think the show was great. I loved it. And with all that being said, I give Erased an 8 out of 10 and the Soul Badge of approval. As always, guys, you can check me out on Twitter. You can hit up my Patreon if you feel like supporting me. And as always, have a wonderful day. I love you guys, and with that, I leave you.
When I'm asked what's my favorite anime, I can't really give a proper answer. While animation here in the West is getting deeper and deeper into the CGI toilet with such amazing films as Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek 4D, Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel, Alvin and the Chipmunks the Chipwrecked, Alvin and the Chipmunks the Road Chip, Milo, grow the bloody hell up, stop acting like a 7-year-old girl. Pretty much everything on Cartoon Network, Disney Channel.
Hello everyone, welcome to Every Episode Reviews, and today we're looking at Erased, every episode in the anime that is still airing by the time I'm filming this. And I believe they're on like episode 8 when I'm recording this, something like that, and damn, this show is like the big show that's going on right now, and it's all hype and fucking everything. And I jotted some notes, they're over here, I forgot to grab them.